Greetings, football fans. Today we dive into the swirling rumors around the 2025 NFL Draft as it rapidly approaches. With just 2 days left until teams make their selections, trade whispers are growing louder than ever. Sources indicate that the clubs holding the second and third overall picks have been fielding inquiries nonstop. It seems there's real interest in moving up the board to secure talents like Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, or Ashton Gentry, and both those teams appear open to negotiations, especially if an attractive offer lands on the table. From one franchise's viewpoint, grabbing Gentry in the top 3 feels unlikely. Word is they're set on a different prospect, and if that holds, then Gentry might slip, raising questions about whether he'd be taken before Carter or Hunter by a team only jumping into the second or third spot. It's hard to justify selecting him ahead of the consensus top 2, even for a squad that might prioritize a running back over a marquee defensive back. In that light, Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter remain the safer bets if a trade unfolds at 2 or 3. Yet the first round could still spring surprises. There's buzz about a blockbuster deal brewing, though it's uncertain whether it targets the second or third pick. Some insiders suggest that the 5th pick, owned by Jacksonville, could become the focal point should a team believe Carter's talent justifies a shift. The Jaguars' spot might offer better value for teams aiming to land a premier defensive lineman who can transform a front 4 overnight. Regardless, every move will be scrutinized as the clock ticks down on draft eve. Looking at the draft value chart, the numbers clarify why so many front offices are crunching trade scenarios late into the night. The 2nd pick clocks in at 717 points, while the 3rd checks in at 514, numbers that on the surface seem far apart until you consider the top talent differences, with Cam Ward projected to go first, and a clear separation between him, Hunter, and Carter, the gap between 2 and 3 Titans. After all, draft boards aren't math contests. They're about perceived impact. And in this class, both the 2nd and 3rd prospects could be difference makers. Teams considering a move down will likely demand next year's first-round pick as part of the package. It's the standard currency when swapping spots near the top, especially if you can't secure your quarterback of the future right now. Imagine a club at pick 3 packaging that selection plus next year's first rounder to slide back a few spots, banking on their current roster's readiness to compete. But to risk relinquishing a future premium pick, you must be convinced your squad is 1 star away from playoff contention. Now, picture a team at pick 10 wanting into the top 3. They have to sweeten the deal considerably, maybe add a 4th rounder and a mid-round pick this year, plus next year's first rounder. Such proposals demand nerve and belief. If you're targeting Hunter or Carter, the upside is tempting. But for a franchise teetering on the playoff bubble, sacrificing next year's premium selection carries real peril. You need conviction that your rookie will move the needle immediately, not just inch you forward marginally. In contrast, climbing to pick 5 feels more attainable. A team could part with one of its 2 second-rounders rather than a future first, striking a less daunting risk-reward balance. That middle ground often appeals to clubs keen to upgrade now without mortgaging their future. Would you gamble a second-round asset for a shot at one of the top 3? Many would in a heartbeat, but few can answer without introspection about their roster's true ceiling. As draft week crescendo approaches, the debate over which position to prioritize intensifies. Some teams crave a pass rusher to fortify their front 7. Others hunger for a versatile cornerback. Meanwhile, running backs remain a hot commodity, especially one who can catch out of the backfield and create breakaway plays. Yet none of these roles carry the same draft capital as edge rushers and lockdown corners at the very top. Those premium talents command king's ransoms in trade talks, and rightfully so. With speculative deals swirling and value charts being dissected, one thing is certain: this draft's opening night will be anything but predictable. When the clock strikes and the draft booth calls your name, every franchise will hope their pre-draft willing and dealing paid off. Will the bold moves yield franchise-altering stars, or will board miscalculations lead to regret? Only time will tell. But that uncertainty is precisely what makes draft week must-see TV. The excitement continues to build as we approach the 2025 NFL Draft. With so much at stake, teams have been carefully weighing their options. analyzing trade proposals and strategizing their selections, hoping to land the next cornerstone player that will shape their future for years to come. The drama surrounding the top picks has been intensified by a series of high-profile trade rumors, creating a buzz that's louder than ever. The speculation centers largely on the teams holding the second and third overall picks, which are considered prime real estate in this year's draft. Multiple sources confirm that these teams are exploring trade options, and the chatter suggests that they're more than willing to move down in the draft if they can secure a valuable package in return. The question remains, which teams will be the ones willing to give up future assets or current talent in exchange for the chance to move up and snag one of the coveted top-tier prospects? As the days count down, the intrigue deepens. Teams with aspirations of immediate contention are eyeing the second and third spots, hoping to bring in a player who can make an instant impact. With standout prospects like Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and Ashton Gentry expected to be at the top of the draft. The race to the top is heating up, but making a trade to acquire such high-level talent requires far more than just a strong desire. It demands the right assets, the willingness to pull the trigger on a bold move, and perhaps a bit of luck. For the teams currently holding the second and third picks, the decision is delicate. On one hand, they could play it safe and select one of the top prospects available, adding a young, game-changing talent to their roster. But on the other hand, if they believe they can trade down and still land a player who will significantly contribute, they may opt to capitalize on the opportunity to acquire additional picks. It's a high-stakes game. And with the amount of talent available in the first few rounds, moving down might actually prove to be a wise choice for certain teams. For example, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who hold the 5th overall pick, are a prime candidate to make a move up. In fact, some industry insiders believe the Jaguars could be the team that drives a major trade, particularly if a club looking to land a top-tier defensive player comes calling. The Jaguars have a solid foundation, and they're not desperate for a high-impact rookie to start right away. As a result, they could entertain offers to move up a few spots in order to secure a player who could provide an immediate boost to their defense. A trade involving the 5th pick could shake up the draft board, setting the stage for more teams to jump into the fray, attempting to land their preferred prospects. If the Jaguars are willing to part with the 5th pick, it would open the door for teams sitting lower in the draft order to move up. In particular, a team sitting in the middle of the first round, say somewhere between pick 10 and pick 15, could be in the market to move up, targeting a player like Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. Both players have been the subject of heavy scouting, attention, and their skill sets make them incredibly attractive to teams in need of elite defensive playmakers. For a team with a strong roster but a need for a difference maker on defense, trading up could be the key to unlocking their championship aspirations. Yet moving up in the draft is never a guarantee of success. Just because a team is willing to pay a steep price doesn't mean they'll get the player they're after. The draft board is fluid, and prospects often shift in terms of value as teams conduct further evaluations and react to the evolving landscape. One of the biggest unknowns in this year's draft is how the teams at the very top will prioritize their selections. Some have made it clear they'll target a quarterback, while others are leaning toward bolstering their defenses. The mix of team needs and player evaluations adds an element of unpredictability to the proceedings, making it hard to pin down exactly what will happen once the draft kicks off. For teams sitting in the middle of the first round, this uncertainty provides a unique opportunity. If they're able to stay patient and stick to their draft boards, they could find themselves in a prime position to land an elite talent who falls due to a run on other positions. It's a delicate balancing act, as teams must decide whether to stick with their original strategy or act decisively if a coveted player slides down the board. In many cases, this is where general managers earn their stripes, deciding whether to trade up, trade down, or stay put and trust the process. Meanwhile, the speculation surrounding the quarterbacks in this draft continues to fuel conversation. With some highly regarded signal callers in the mix, teams in need of a quarterback of the future will have to decide whether to go all in on one of these prospects. The most talked about quarterback in this draft class is Cam Ward, who is widely regarded as a franchise quarterback. Ward's blend of size, arm strength, and athleticism has caught the eye of scouts across the league, and it's no surprise that teams are willing to move up in the draft to secure his services. But the real question is whether Ward is the only quarterback worthy of a top-tier pick, or if other quarterbacks in the class can rival his skill set and become immediate contributors in the NFL. This uncertainty around the quarterbacks only adds more drama to an already intense draft process. If Ward is indeed the top pick, it will set off a chain reaction as teams scramble to position themselves for the next best available player. However, there are no guarantees in the draft, and while quarterbacks traditionally carry significant weight in terms of draft capital, it's important to remember that other positions, particularly pass rushers and cornerbacks, can also dominate the top of the board. It's a complex puzzle that will require teams to consider all factors, from team needs to future potential, before making their final selections. As we draw closer to the big day, one thing is clear. The 2025 NFL Draft is shaping up to be a thrilling, unpredictable event. With so many teams jockeying for position, trade rumors swirling, and draft boards constantly shifting, it's anyone's guess how things will unfold. What we do know is that there are going to be some surprises, some bold moves, and some franchise-altering decisions that will echo for years to come. Fans and analysts alike will be watching closely, eagerly anticipating the moment when the first name is called, signaling the beginning of a new era in the NFL. As the clock ticks down and teams make their final preparations, the pressure intensifies. The fate of franchises, the hopes of fan bases, and the careers of young athletes all hang in the balance. The 2025 NFL Draft is nearly here, and it promises to be one of the most exciting, unpredictable, and game-changing drafts in recent memory. So grab your popcorn, settle in, and get ready for the wild ride that's about to unfold. The future of the NFL is about to take shape, and it's going to be one heck of a show. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Baker Mayfield is the new addition to the Chicago Bears, a move that has left fans and analysts alike buzzing with curiosity. The quarterback, known for his roller coaster journey in the NFL, will now have the chance to prove himself once again, this time in Chicago. After a somewhat turbulent tenure with the Cleveland Browns and a brief stint with the Carolina Panthers and Los Angeles Rams, Mayfield has a fresh opportunity to showcase his talents with the Bears, a team that is eager to rise from years of mediocrity. Mayfield, the former Heisman Trophy winner from Oklahoma, has always been a polarizing figure. When he entered the NFL as the first overall pick in the 2018 draft, expectations were sky high. His early success in Cleveland, leading the team to the playoffs for the first time in decades, earned him a reputation as a promising young quarterback. However, the following seasons were filled with inconsistency and injuries, leaving many to question whether he could ever return to that level of play. The Bears, on the other hand, have been struggling to find stability at the quarterback position for years. Despite several attempts, including the acquisition of veterans like Andy Dalton and the selection of Justin Fields in the 2021 draft, they have failed to establish a consistent and reliable signal caller. Mayfield's arrival signals a potential change in this narrative, offering the team a quarterback with experience in high-pressure situations. This move also represents a potential turning point for the Bears' offense. Chicago has always prided itself on its defense, but the lack of a capable quarterback has hampered the team's overall success. Mayfield's leadership and playmaking ability could breathe new life into an offense that has struggled to put up points in recent years. His mobility, strong arm, and experience could help to unlock the full potential of the Bears' offensive weapons, including Fields, who may benefit from Mayfield's presence as a mentor and possible competition. While some may still have doubts about Mayfield's ability to return to his former glory, there's no denying that his journey in the NFL has made him more determined than ever to succeed. In Chicago, he will have the chance to show that he can still be the quarterback that was once touted as the future of the Browns. Whether or not Mayfield can thrive in his new environment will be one of the key storylines for the Bears in the Upcoming season. The stage is set, and now it's time for Baker Mayfield to prove his worth once again. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.